everyone. This is Mrs. Childress. I'm so glad to see you. I wish I could really see you in person, but that's not going to happen for a while yet, so I thought I would try this route instead. I did give you your packet. I sent your packet, and I also sent lessons, but instead of the lessons, I'm going to go ahead and do this video, but you can follow along with the lessons too if you like. And I am going to tell you right now that since it's the end of the year, you're going to have less and less and less work. So that's a big yay. I'm sure you're going to be glad about that. But there's still a little bit of work to be done. So let's get started. Today we're going to talk about a very special pronoun called a reflexive pronoun. First of all, you need to tell me what a pronoun is. Of course you know because you're smart kids, but I need to tell you just in case I forget what a pronoun is. A pronoun is something that takes the place of a noun. So instead of saying Joe and I went to the store, what you can say is we went to the store. We is the pronoun. It takes the place of Joe and I. Or you can say Tom went with Joe and Kim to the store. But instead of saying Joe and Kim, you can say them. Tom went with them to the store. Them is a pronoun. So we're going to talk about, like I said, a special kind of pronoun. It's called a reflexive pronoun, and this is how you can think of it. Think of a mirror or a shiny piece of metal that you might put down on the sidewalk or on the driveway or something on a nice sunny day. And what happens to that metal is when the sun comes and it shines down onto that metal, what happens to it? It reflects back up. It reflects just like this, like it goes right back up to the sun. And so that's kind of what a reflexive pronoun does. It doesn't reflect back up to the sun, but it does reflect back to something. So I have a sentence right here. It's called Joey. You can look down at this third one. Joey read a book by himself. First of all, we need to find the pronoun in that sentence. And the pronoun is himself. Okay? First thing you have to think about is, who is himself? Himself is Joey. Himself and Joey are the same exact person. So what we say is, himself reflects back to Joey. So all a pronoun does is it reflects back to the subject noun that it's talking about. Think about the word reflect, and then think about the word reflexive. They sound kind of the same, don't they? It's because they sort of are the same. Now, there are two things you need to remember about a reflexive pronoun. First of all, they always reflect back to the subject. So, in Joey read a book by himself, you're looking at himself and you say, oh, himself reflects back to Joey because Joey is the subject noun, okay? So that's the one thing that you always have to remember about a reflexive pronoun. The other thing you always have to remember about a reflexive pronoun is that it always ends with the word self or selves. If it's self, that means it's just one person. If it's selves, that means that it's more than one person. But you will see that every time you see a reflexive pronoun, it ends in the word self, and we're going to practice some things. So if you will look at your week 26 classwork, you will see a box that has all kinds of reflexive pronouns in them. And you'll see also that every one of them ends with a self or a selves, depending on whether it's singular or plural. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the first one, and it says, I went to the store by blank. Well, what goes in the blank? The word myself goes in the blank. I went to the store by myself. That is a reflexive pronoun, myself. Now think about the word myself. Myself, who is myself? Well, myself is, go back to the subject. Well, in this case, it's a pronoun, I. Myself and I are the same person. Myself reflects back to I. Let's look at the second one. We were able to see blank in the mirror. What is the word that goes in that's blank? And the word is ourselves. We were able to see ourselves in the mirror. So let's think about the word ourselves. What word does it reflect back to? It reflects back to we. So you know that we and ourselves are the same thing. Let's go to the third one. The fish helped blank to the fish food. What is the word that goes in the blank? The fish helped themselves to the fish food. Think of the word themselves. Ends in selves, doesn't it? Which means there's more than one of them. And it stands for the fish. So fish and themselves both stand for the very same thing. So that's really all you have to remember about reflexive pronouns. They're a pronoun that ends in self or selves, and they always mean that it's the subject pronoun that it's talking about. They both mean the same thing. They talk about the same thing. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to work on your composition book. So what you do is you take out your piece of paper, and remember, since you don't have your composition book with you right now, you're going to just cut two pieces. It's going to be a two-piece spread this time. You're going to cut two pieces of notebook paper, and they will be 7 inches wide and 9.5 inches long. So when you get those two pieces cut out, then you will have it exactly the right size. So when you get your composition book, you'll be able to post it right in there. But the thing that you really need to do is make sure that you put it on notebook paper, because you're going to be able to, you're going to have to write some things. And it's a lot easier to write if you have the lines to write. Now in your packet, you've got a picture of what the notebook composition book pages will look like. You also have one in the lessons that I've got that I've got for you. So you can look at either one. It'd probably be easier to look at the big pictures in the packet. So on the first page, and it happens to be page 27, but you don't need to know that for now, you are going to go ahead and glue your reflexive pronouns title up at the top, and put down, and then glue this picture here. Now you're going to write on this. And look at this mirror. It kind of gives you a really good clue about what a reflexive pronoun is. Because when you look back, when you look at a mirror, what happens? A reflection of your image reflects back to you, and you can see yourself. Okay, that's exactly what a reflexive pronoun does. So let's look at this sentence I have here, and you can write it also. I looked at myself in the mirror. That's exactly what I just said, and that's what this is a picture of. So think about the two words that mean the same. So myself is the reflexive pronoun, and who is myself? Well, it's I. So I underlined the word myself, but if you like to, and I didn't do anything else, but if you'd like to, you could draw a circle around the word I, and that would help you remember that myself and I are both the same thing. Okay, so you can do that for this page. All right, let's go to this next page. This next page, all you're going to do is write sentences using reflexive pronouns. Now at the top, you can see a whole list of reflexive pronouns. So what you're going to do is on this side, and this is we didn't talk about much, but on this side, these are examples of regular pronouns. And it says object pronouns. And all that means is these pronouns are always found in the predicate part of the sentence. They're always found after the verb. All right, so this is just an example of some object pronouns: me, him, her, you, just singular, it, us, and you, which means plural, which is more than one of you. All right, and then all they did here was that instead of me, what is the reflexive pronoun? What pronoun reflects back to me? And that is myself. What pronoun reflects back to him? Himself. Her, herself. You, yourself. And then that's just the singular. And then it, itself, us, ourselves. Okay. And then we've got, instead of you, which is plural, more than one, you'd say ourselves. So it's just pluralizing self. Instead of saying self, it's saying selves. And then down here we've got some example sentences. Joe, and this is the one we've already done. Joey read the book by himself. Underline the word himself. You can't stay home by yourself. Yourself and you are the same person. We baked the cookies ourselves. Ourselves and we stand for the same person or people. Mom will drive herself to work. Mom and herself are the same person. The doctor said the wound would heal itself. And this isn't even a person. It's talking about a wound, okay, and itself. So it's still talking about the same thing. It's just not talking about a person. Now what you can do is you can write 3 sentences. I have more than 3 here, but you can write 3 sentences here, and you need to make sure to underline the reflexive pronoun, and then think to yourself after you've written it, who does the reflexive pronoun, who's that talking about? Okay, so when you're all done with that composition book, then we'll be ready to start spelling, and that's all we have to do today in our grammar. So wasn't that easy? So go ahead and when you're done with your composition book, go ahead and move to your spelling. Actually, you can move to it now and then do it a little bit later. But first of all, let's go ahead and read all of your spelling words together, and then we'll talk a little bit about how they're all the same. Okay, let me go ahead and find them. I didn't have it out for you. Okay, so go ahead and get out your spelling words, and you can go ahead and you can either say them with me or you can say them after me. All right, so let's go. Trip, tree, say, said, hop, train, number, stop, stopped, one, bridge, clean. All right, those are all your list words for this week. Now let's look at them. We can look up at the this week's focus, and it tells you exactly what each one of these words has in it that you need to really think about this week. Okay, so some of the words have a TR and an ST in them. They're called consonant blends, and the consonant blends are blends that have more than one consonant, and you can hear all of them. So if you have the consonant blend TR, consonant blend TR, it's tr, because you can hear the T and the R. If you have the consonant blend ST, then it's st. You can hear both of the sounds. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to look at your list words here, go through each of your list words and find the words that have the TR blend in them, tr, or the ST blend in them, str. If you have a highlighter, you can go ahead and highlight those consonant blends in each of the words that you see there that have them. Okay, go ahead and do that. When you're done with that, we're going to look at some other words. There are some words, and actually I only see one in here, that ends in an ED after doubling a final consonant. Now I'm going to tell you something about when you double a final consonant. Look at the word hop in your list word, and I wrote it down right here. Okay? There's two things you need to remember for a word in order to be able to double the consonant or at the end of it. Okay? First of all, the word has to be called it's a short word. Okay? A short word is a word that has 4 letters or less. Okay? So how many letters does hop have in it? It only has 3, so that qualifies for the first rule. Then the second rule is that the last 2 letters of the word have to be a vowel and a consonant. Well, O is a vowel, P is a consonant, so that qualifies. So since this is a short word, it ends with a vowel and a consonant, you have to double that P, so it makes hopped, all right? And that is a rule you can remember for a lot of different words, all right? It's just always think, okay, is this word a short word? Does it end in a vowel consonant? If it ends in a vowel consonant and it's a short word, then you double that last consonant. Now, if it doesn't end in a vowel consonant, like toe, T-O-E, what do? You don't double anything. You don't double the last consonant because there's no last consonant, okay? So just remember that rule. It's not a really hard rule, but sometimes we forget it. Okay, so in your list words, hop doesn't have the ed at the end, but what word in your list does? Look down a little bit further. You see the word stop, and look at right underneath it to number 9. See the word stopped? Now, does stop qualify? Look at it. Is it 4 words or less? 4 letters or less? Yes, it is. If it does it end in a vowel, a consonant? Well, O is a vowel, P is a consonant. So, yep, that qualifies. So, when we're going to add an ed to the word stop, we have to double the consonant P. So you'll see that in number 9, right? Now you have some other kind of funny words there, and they don't really have rules. They're just odd words, okay? So the first one is the word say. It's on number 3. And all you have to remember is that AY usually says A, so that word is say. And then what right under it, number 4, is the word said, and said doesn't sound anything like it looks. It's just a weird word, and you're just going to have to memorize that word, okay? And then you have one word, just one that I can see, number 7, number. It has a short U in it, number, So what you can do is you can highlight, if you have a highlighter, you can highlight the word U. The letter U. And you know what? I didn't tell you on the word stopped on number 9. You can also highlight on there the P and the E and the D, P-E-D, because that's the part that you need to remember, that you have to double that P before you add your ED. Okay? So that's really all you have. And I think we are done. That was short, wasn't it? Okay, so what you need to do now is just get to work on your packet, and when you're done for the week, and we'll see you next week. Bye.